Welcome back. Now we are dealing with ratio analysis. In the previous session, we were discussing about liquidity ratios, solvency ratios. Let's deal with some of the cases relating to both ratios. Next case. Here a question is given. A balance sheet for a certain financial year is given and you are asked to find various ratios numbering current ratio, asset test ratio, debt equity ratio, proprietary ratio, capital gearing ratio, fixed assets to shareholders funds, and finally fixed asset ratio. Sometimes the same question can be asked as calculate liquidity ratios as well as solvency ratios. So whenever such a type of question come, you need to understand that whenever liquidity ratios are asked to find, it means that you need to find all the ratios that come under liquidity ratios. At the same time, whenever you are asked to find solvency ratios, you need to find all the types of ratios or tools that comes under solvency ratios. There is a chance of doubt that under both ratios there is a particular ratio termed as liquidity ratio as well as solvency ratio. Under liquidity ratios also you have one ratio known as liquid ratio, and at the same time under solvency ratios also you have one particular solvency ratio equation. So don't get confused whenever you are asked to find ratios. They specifically say liquidity ratios as well as solvency ratios. You need to find all the ratios that come under both heads. That depends. Okay, in this case, you are asked to find all these ratios, and there is a balance sheet of an accounting period is given, and get familiarized with each heads and what are the items that come under each different heads, because the concept is equations are easy to learn and we can directly apply it. The thing is that you need to identify what all items that comes under each equations. You need to familiarize with all the items that comes under different heads. Okay, just go through the question because we are going towards the answer part. So I will be removing this question part. Okay. Next one. In the question it was asked to find current ratio. We know current ratio is current assets divided by current liabilities. And what are the items that come under current assets and what are the items that comes under current liabilities? We all know what are the items. So get acquainted with all the items that comes under each head. Under current assets, as per the question, it consists of inventory, debtors and cash. And by adding all those three items, inventory of amount 50,000, debtors 25,000, cash 90,000, you will get 1,65,000. And current liabilities, there is only one current liability, that is creditors, 45,000. So finally, current ratio is current assets divided by current liability. 1,65,000 divided by 45,000, you will get 3.67:1. Next one. Second one, it was asked to find asset test ratio, otherwise known as liquid ratio. We know the equation, liquid ratio equal liquid assets divided by current liability. Usually in the question, liquid asset may not be given directly. You need to identify it. I hope you are aware about how to find out or identify liquid assets. Liquid assets can be identified by deducting stock from current assets. Stock from current assets, that is 1,65,000 minus 50,000, you will get liquid assets 1,15,000. And current liability is already identified in the previous equation. Current liability is 45,000 by applying the data, that is 1,50,000, 15,000 divided by 45,000, you will get 2.56:1. Now we got two ratios. Next one, debt equity ratio. Debt equity ratio is equation debt by equity. Other name of debt is outsiders fund and other name of equity is shareholders fund. And be aware that outsiders fund, what are the items comes under outsiders fund as well as what are the items comes under shareholders fund. Be aware about that's the main part of the equation or the answer. You need to get acquainted with all the items that comes under each head. Then only you get the answer. And under outsiders fund or debt, as per the question, it consists of debtors and creditors. That is 55,000 for debtors and 45,000 for creditors, and you will get 1 lakh. Next one, shareholders fund, and we all know what are the items comes under shareholder fund. It includes equity capital, preference capital, reserves, and profit and loss account. Equity capital includes 1,50,000, preference share capital 20,000, reserves and surplus, reserves 25,000, and finally profit and loss 20,000. And the sum of all these items you will get 2,15,000. By substituting the both amounts in the equation, you will get debt equity ratio 1 lakh divided by 2,50,000, 15,000, that is 0.46:1. Next one, proprietary ratio equation, shareholders fund by total asset. We already computed the amount of shareholders fund, that is 2,15,000, and the total assets is the total side of the asset side of the balance sheet. And we know total asset side is 3,15,000. So 2,15,000 divided by total assets, that is 3,15,000, you will get 0.68:1. Next one, capital gearing ratio. That is fixed income bearing security divided by equity shareholders fund. Try to expand this part. For the convenience only, I am writing chips. Try to expand this part in the exam. Fixed income bearing securities includes debtors, that is 6% debtors, 5% preference share capital. Kindly refer the percentage in front of all these items. Whenever you are writing debtors, you need to specify the percentage that is given in the question. In the question it is given 6% debentures, so try to specify it in the exams. And preference share capital is 5% preference share capital. 6% debentures is 55,000 and 5% preference share capital is 20,000. You will get 75,000. And equity shareholders fund, we just found the value or amount of equity shareholders fund in the previous set. But also remember it. Be cautious. In the previous set, it was said that in the equation it was said that shareholders fund. Here it is equity shareholders fund. Remember, in the previous set it was shareholders fund. Shareholders fund includes equity share capital, preference share capital, and so on. But equity shareholders fund means it includes just equity share capital, reserves and surplus, profit and loss. It doesn't include preference share capital. Remember that. Equity shareholders fund equal to equity share capital plus general reserve or reserves and surplus. That's depend upon details given in the question, and P&L account. That is equity share capital is 1,50,000, general reserve is 25,000, P&L account is 20,000, and you will get 1,95,000. So capital gearing ratio is 75,000 divided by 1,95,000. You will get 0.38:1. Next one, fixed assets to shareholders fund. Fixed assets to shareholders fund equation, fixed assets divided by shareholders fund, where fixed assets is directly given in the question, that is 1,50,000. Shareholders fund, that is 2,15,000. Remember, equity shareholders fund and this shareholders fund, they both are different. This is the overall term given to the shareholders fund. Here equity shareholders fund include only equity share capital, reserves and surplus, and P&L account. Okay, fixed assets is 1,50,000. So the equation is 1,50,000 divided by 2,15,000. You will get 0. The amount is rate is 0.69, not 1.69. It's a mistake. 0.69:1. Next one, fixed asset ratio. Finally, fixed asset ratio is fixed asset divided by long term fund. And the fixed asset we know 1,50,000. And long term funds. Remember, long term fund means total liabilities minus current liabilities, or total liabilities excluding current liabilities. That is 3,15,000 is the total liabilities. Out of this, current liabilities is deducted. Here in this question, creditors is the current liability, so the amount is 2,70,000, and fixed asset ratio is 1,50,000 divided by 2,70,000. You will get 0.56:1. This is how you need to find out the ratios depending upon the balance sheet or statement given in the question. And remember, you need to give an interpretation regarding the details you furnished from the details given in the question. On the basis of ratios or on the basis of your analysis, you need to develop an interpretation regarding the study. Interpretation is a must. You must give interpretation regarding the analysis. I hope you have understand the concept of dealing with a question like this. Remember, in the question, they will ask to find a specific head. So whenever they are asking a specific ratios coming under specific head, it is implied that you need to find the ratios of all the tools or ratios that come under that specific head. Okay, that's all for today. We will deal with further cases in the next session.